Good afternoon from Stagwell Sport Beach Content Studio. I'm here today with Josh Golden.
So
CMO
excited
Quad.
to be here with you, John.
How are you, Josh?
So I'm thrilled. A little hot.
It's a little sweltering here.
Last year it was cooler, so I'm okay with it. But I just came off the red eye and had a nice delay, so I had like an hour to sleep in total. So I'm like, this is
You don't show it
red
at
hot.
all. You don't show it. So we're going to get in and talk a little bit about this cultural trend that we worked on together,
We did.
the Harris Poll and Quad, around the tactile revolution. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, we had this great conversation. I remember, actually, the insight came. I was watching my daughter page through a catalog of all things, and I was like, "Is this funny?" And I asked her, "What was what was your experience like?" And she was like, "Well, I wasn't interrupted, and I had a chance. I love these clothing." And I remember we had this conversation. I don't want to steal your thunder, but we were talking, and I said, you talked to me about this cultural shift that's happening, sort of this rebellion, like revenge IRL, and I was like, John, how do we quantify this? And you came up with this brilliant metric, return on touch.
Well, you know, it's fascinating. I mean, I'm just going to touch on a couple of the data points, Josh, because I want you to talk about these.
Please.
One, interestingly enough, is like nearly 8 in 10 of Americans said that they would rather live completely in an in-person life rather than sort of an online life, I guess, which makes sense with everything that's going on. But here's the one that really got me. I think it was at the point about your daughter. 67% of consumers say physical mail feels more personal than digital, and 72% would like brands to surprise them with something in the mail.
Yeah.
Is mail sort of the new innovation, or what's going on here?
So I have a theory. I'm floating it here first time. I think that we, as human beings, have lost the opportunities for discovery. Like when my wife and I are watching television, we have to choose, well, which streaming channel should we choose, and then what show should we watch? There isn't just like flipping on the television, just sort of coasting around the channels until you find something interesting. You have to pre-choose. So the whole thought of having discovery opportunities that are just like, that's why I think Costco or like what is it, Home Goods is like this sort of this discovery that you're finding what you want as you expose yourself to something in the physical world. So when you think about the digital world, it always starts with an inspiration or a request versus I'm receiving this information. So mail and catalogs and magazines offer that uninterrupted consumer experience that's all about engaging with the brand but uninterrupted. And I think that's really the shift.
So is this sort of akin to like the slow cooking movement?
Yes.
Or like we're seeing in our Harris Poll data, the rise of chess clubs. There's slow checkout
Third
lines.
spaces, yes.
Slow checkout lines in a grocery store, so you could just sort of slow down and have a conversation with people. So I don't know, I think that's really interesting. So question for you, does this mean that digital is dying? No.
No, I mean, isn't it always about the evolution? Marketers are always responsible for figuring out, well, what is it happening now, and how does the marketer shift their position so that they can take the best advantage of it? So I think digital is a critical component of exploration, but having that brand authenticity that happens mostly in a physical space. When you walk into a retail store and you touch something physically, all of your senses are engaged, and I think that is the major difference. When you think about like when we lived on the savannah and you were running from a lion or like smelling a strawberry, you used all of your senses. So our screens that we use are it's like glass and your eyeballs, it's all you have. But when you're in a store or in an environment where you can actually experience something, you're using everything.
So what's the implication for marketers? Is it sort of blend them? Is it think omnichannel? Like how do you
I think omnichannel is, and the research highlights this very much, like it isn't just one thing and that's it. You have to really make certain you're touching the consumer in all the places they want that exposure. Digital isn't dead. It's obviously, it's changing and evolving, but seeing this revenge experience that's happening, I think really pandemic drove this. We were so locked into things digitally and television was driving it. Now it's much more about how do we have so many different ways that can touch that consumer in a way that's authentic.
Josh, fascinating insights. Really appreciate it.
I'm so excited about this research.
What's next for Quad?
So Quad obviously is sort of exposing. We started off in manufacturing. That's mostly what we've been done in our history. And now with our agency and our data offering and our creative offering and our packaging offering, we have so many different ways to help marketers. And specifically because of this growth of the physical, we're combining this sort of superpower of omni-channel to we listen to the client's problem and we sort of figure out which solutions we have that are going to be the most effective to help drive that consumer engagement. So I think we are going to sort of supercharge the marketers' capacity to execute in all the channels that they need the most.
Josh, thanks for coming so much. It's Josh Golden, CMO of Quad.
Thank you, John.